Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're doing something a little different. As you know, I am here at the shop, Kansas Collectible Games, and I have Ruric Thar is one of the decks I have with me, and it occurs to me that it has been a very long time since this deck has been updated. So we're going to update it today, mainly because I've got to get some new sleeves, because these sleeves are very, very old, and a few of them have started to split, and obviously I don't have replacements for them. So, as you remember, Ruric Thar, the 6/6 Vigilance Reach, but the reason why we play him is that Ruric Thar deals 6 damage to anyone who casts a non-creature spell. So, if you remember the shtick, I don't remember what number the video is, so if y'all want to go back and look at it, the only 2 non-creature permanents I have are Primal Surge and Fervor. So that you can, if you get the 10 mana and you have the Primal Surge, you can, put your entire deck into play. We've haste granters like Urabrask and then the Fervor. So that's just kind of I left it in. I normally sort it out by converted mana cost like this. You can see 1, 2, 3, and so on. My land base is up here at the top. Well, let's look at the cards that we are swapping. Believe it or not, didn't have a Rogue's Passage. So I'm taking out that Smoldering Spires for a Rogue's Passage. The Orcish Lumberjack, it's a great card, but I never seem to be willing to sacrifice that forest to get that bump. Veteran Explorers, I have no problem sacrificing. The Combustible Gear Hulk, there again, I never really did much with it, but that Itali is just a card access machine, Throwing the Last Troll, this was actually just in play. I just played this deck, and then Jake just played it. He actually cast Thrun, but the Forgotten Ancient, there's a little bit of a +1/+1 theme going. As you can see, with the next one there, I'm swapping out the Moldalia Chandlers for Krinko, the Kingpin, so maybe we can Forgotten Ancient and move those counters over to Krinko. Swag Tusk, of course, coming out for the Silverback Elder, because Silverback Elder is one heck of a magic card. Whenever you cast a creature spell, hey, that's all we're doing. The Worldspine Worm is just a little expensive, and I'm probably going to put it in the Worm deck. So at 12 mana, it's coming out to lower the curve a little bit to 6 for that Soul of the Harvest, so we can draw some cards. Same way with the Magus of the Wheel. I have probably a few too many Mana Dorks, so that Nantuko Elder being the worst of the lot, coming out for the Magus. Yeah, I didn't have an Eternal Witness in here. That's just silly, so taking out that Gruul Spellbreaker that I don't think I've ever seen. The Ulamog's Crusher for the Garruk's Horde here again, playing creatures, having access to the top card of your library. You can play it if it's a creature. Just felt like a little better, and it slightly helped the curve a little bit. It That Betrays, turning into Hamletback Goliath there again with the +1/+1 counter theme. And that Joker gets huge. The Keldon Warlord with the, swapping for Min and Den. Playing additional land in creature form, that's not bad. And it has the ability to give Ruric Thar Trample. Target creature gains Trample, so that's beautiful. The Scar Goliath, you really only ever use it to Blood Rush it, so I didn't have a Rex Sage. It's wild. So now the lands, I've got one of those new pretty Carplusian forests with the full art, but I just can't seem to bring myself to get rid of the original here to swap it out for it. Those are my red-green duels. Yes, I know I probably need better ones, like almost all those come into play tapped. Ancient Ziggurat is, of course, the MVP land of the deck. And then, well, I say that, the Kessig Wolf Run is probably the MVP land. Granting Trample. There's been many times I've just paid 0 red-green just to grant Trample. But we've still got our a lot of the Mana Dorks in the 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop slots. I mean, a lot of them. Heartwood Storyteller is an amazing Magic card to draw some cards if this is your strategy. The Roaring Promodox here, that's why it was so hard for me to believe I didn't have an Eternal Witness, because the Roaring Promodox requires you to bounce a creature every turn, and I would really, really like to, get some use out of that Eternal Witness. There's a few other cards, that are pretty awesome to keep recasting, especially if we've got the Hamlet back out. Hell Rider couldn't do without. Martin Stromgold I like just because I've never played Martin Stromgold with somebody hadn't asked to read the dang card. Acidic Slime, of course. Battle Squadron. People look over Battle Squadron. It's a goblin that flies. Power toughness equal number of dudes. Now that Joel Ray, Empress of Beast, I just had a moment with that in a game, so it's not coming out anytime soon. Steel Hellkite, Horde Smelter, Moonveil. I mean, that looks like a dragon deck in the 6-drop slot, doesn't it? Moss Bridge. Bane of Balagad still in there, along with the World Breaker. And then Breaker of Armies. I didn't realize I had a Craterhoof in this deck. Yeah, it's not very Brian Canada of me, is it? And then Borborygmos. And 8 is where we actually stop our curve at, since we got rid of all those big Eldrazi's. So I just wanted to update. I have to sleeve this deck, and I'm going to be putting it in the Dragon Shield color of y'all's choice. I've got it up on Twitter, and that's where we're at. So going to update this. Just wanted to show y'all, and I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you next time.